I think a lot of people have been questioning the role of the UN the past 23 months in terms of its relevance and its ability to put an end to something like what's happening right now in Gaza. But let me give you an even more direct example. At the time of us recording this yesterday, as I'm sure you have seen, Professor, Israel did a double tap strike against on the Nasser hospital in Gaza, where it killed rescue workers and journalists. Now, what the UN has said in light of that attack is that it basically called for an impartial investigation. Now, we've seen that happen dozens of times with respect to Israel and its actions. And we know that an impartial investigation simply will not happen because of the fact that Israel just will not allow it to happen. And so my question here is, how do we get to a place where the UN can do something different moving forward and actually meaningful on the ground?
Well, let me just say one very specific thing,
Go ahead.
which is that the difference of where we are today and a state of Palestine that is the 194th UN member state and recognized by essentially all the world except Israel is one vote in the UN Security Council. So just from a completely tactical, very narrow point of view, if the United States changes its vote to stop its veto on the state of Palestine membership in the UN, Palestine becomes a member state. So this is something that could happen in an hour from now. This is not a heavy lift. Then you might say, yeah, but what does that change? Israel will continue to do what it does. It will still have 600,000 settlers in the West Bank. It will, yes, of course, that is true. But what I wanted to do first is to put an end to the delusion, the murderous delusion of Smotrich, Ben-Gvir, Netanyahu, and a lot of the Israeli people that they're going to hold on to this territory forever, because they ain't. And that needs to be said at the outset, not at the end. It needs to be said irrevocably at the outset. Your borders are the 4th of June, 1967, period, according to international law, as determined once again by the International Court of Justice in 2024. Now, following that, if the U.S. changed its position, there could be the interposition of security forces under the UN Security Council. There could be sanctions against Israel. There could be a suspension of Israel in the UN itself. There could be a military suspension of any military equipment. Many things could be done to bring this to fruition. I admit, I understand fully, it depends on the United States. But my point is, it doesn't depend on changing dozens of governments. It depends on ending the complicity in genocide of the US government. And the American people get it. They get it as much as they can in our propaganda-filled world. They're 70% on board on this. So we're talking about, from my point of view, as of this morning, one vote, which puts a completely different dynamic into play. If you say, A, what's the chance? B, will it really work? C, what happens then with the settlers? This, that. Yes, I will throw up my hands like everyone else and say, this ain't easy. I'm trying to find a practical way. There are 8 million Palestinian Arabs and there are 8 million Jews in Israel. And I don't want the Jews to kill all the Palestinians. That's the way it's going right now, or to expel them. And I think the best thing is security on both sides, even if it's a wall a mile high. There should be a state of Palestine right now, immediately, and Israel should get the heck out and stop its murder.